So many series, so little time! Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads, and as always guys, I'm Andrew. Today I got another video for you, but before we get to that video, make sure you're liking and subscribing and hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. I post every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that said guys, these are all the series that I purchased this year that I just really wanted to read, and I just didn't have time for. So these are the series that I'm prioritizing the most at the start of 2022. So hopefully I can start all these. We'll see what happens because I'm always picking up new books on my friends' recommendations and stuff like that. Like Alan from the Library of Alexandria is awful for wrecking my TBR. Nico's bad for wrecking my TBR. Mike from Mike's Book Reviews is bad for wrecking my TBR. Sarah from Sarah Reads, Patrick Leo. The list goes on. But guys, I have got a tower of books. These are just the first entry or the omnibus collections that I would like to get to in 2022. So it's not my most anticipated releases or anything like that. I already own these. I just really need to start them so that I can get chugging along on them. And starting off, I got a wonderful gift by my good friend in the Discord, the Boiled Jellyfish. And he kind of did that whole, you want a buddy read it? Which, of course I want a buddy read it. But that is The Last Watch, a novel of the Divide by J.S. Dews. I believe I've said that name right. I could have it wrong. I've been told that this is like The Watch from the Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire series, but set on like the edge of space, which really, really intrigues me. And the first two books are already out. I really need to start this. I've had my eye on this for a couple months already. Guys, I am so excited to get this into the brain so that I can just enjoy some good old sci-fi. I think this is the only sci-fi that appears on the list, because I'm like in the middle of, if you've seen that video, I'll go ahead and link that up on the cards. I'm already in the middle of like 20 series. So, yay! All right, the next one. Oh, this one's so heavy. You've seen me talk about this before. I have been curious about Wizard of Earthsea for going on about 15 years, and when I finally kind of bit the bullet and got the illustrated edition, I really, really, really wanted to start it. It's now been sitting on my shelf for about 4 or 5 months. I don't know when I'm going to get to it. Someday here soon. I'm hoping to start this. This is a bind-up of like 8 or 10 books, so it's not too god-awful bad. I think they're pretty quick reads. Like, I think they're like borderline adult middle grade. So somewhere in that range, or like maybe YA middle or YA adult. I don't know. All I know is that it's Ursula K. Le Guin, and I've been wanting to try Ursula K. Le Guin because if I like this, then I want to move on to her sci-fi stuff as well. Because let's face it, fantasy is my bread and butter. That's so heavy. So that is another one that I want to prioritize. So that means we've gone through 2 books. And then, of course, there's the third. Now, this is the only one I think I'm going to be able to start this year because I'm trying to buddy read this from Chase Book Thoughts. Chase from Chase Book Thoughts. And that is The Shadow of What Was Lost. That is the first book in the Lycanius trilogy. I have had my eye on this since last year. I think I purchased this like back in February. Maybe even, I might have even gotten this for Christmas this year. And I keep telling myself, I'm going to get to it. 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 Guess what, guys? I keep lying to myself because I haven't gotten to it. And I would just love to read this. I've heard mixed to great things about the trilogy. And frankly, from what I've heard, I'm excited to read it because everybody whose opinion I respect has told me, yeah, you should definitely read it. Well, that's good enough for me. Why can't I fit it into the TBR? I don't know, but I'm hoping to read this in December with Chase. I'm hoping to nail that down with him, so we'll see what happens. All right, so much to my great shame, we are on to the 4th pick for this, and I have had this on and off my TBR 3 times. I have just pushed it, taken it off due to overcrowding. I don't know why I can't get this read. It is going to be Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne, specifically starting with The Emperor's Blades by Brian Staveley. I think I got these for my birthday back in March. And I just don't know why I haven't read this yet. I've heard nothing but stellar reviews. Petrick loves this, I believe. And then a lot of other friends are like, yeah, it's pretty darn good. So why haven't I read it? I don't know. Someday my book buying habit will catch up to my book reading habit. Like, I collect way more books than I can possibly read in a reasonable amount of time. This is just a victim of the numbers game, guys. Like, I don't know why I haven't been able to fit this in yet. But hopefully soon, 2022, we are going to be doing some Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne because the sequel trilogy has already started being written. Like, the first book is out. So, like, there's a standalone novel. So I've got, like, 5 books to read by Brian Staveley already. I don't own all 5, but I do own the entire trilogy of the Chronicles of the Unhewn Throne. And then another that I bought at the beginning of the year, and for some reason, I just can't seem to get it read. I don't understand why. And that is going to be the first book, and I believe the Keepers trilogy by David Dalglish, and that is Soul Keeper. This sounds very like D&D-esque, like he's a cleric, but like magic's coming back into the world, and like he's a warrior. The cover art's amazing. This was initially a cover buy for me, and then I believe I saw this on Holly Hart's Books. I think I've gotten her channel name right, and I bought it. Like, I was just like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna buy that. And then I just never read it. Like, I don't know. You're gonna hear me say in this video, I don't know why I haven't done it. Because I don't. Like, I buy probably 30 books a month. So, unfortunately, like, these just keep falling by the wayside and getting pushed. Which should probably tell me something that I should slow down on buying books so that I can then catch up on reading books. Because I keep signing up for buddy reads on books I don't even have yet, so then I buy those books, and then these books just don't get read. And look at it, it's gorgeous. It's crying out to me. Andrew, read me. Andrew, what are you doing? Why don't you love me, Andrew? And I don't know. But yeah, so definitely want to get to the Keepers next year as well. And then this one is kind of Leslie's fault. She knows what she did. She knows what she did to my TBR. You know what you did, Leslie. And I thank you for it because I've had so many great recommendations from Leslie. Our tastes usually align pretty well. And so I went ahead and picked up The Grey Bastards. And she's been reading, this is like Half-Orcs, Mercenaries, Grimdark. This was like a self-pub that got picked up and then turned into traditional published. And I am so happy about that because I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I've got the first 2. The third one's coming out here soon. So by the time I get to it, it'll be a complete trilogy, which always warms my heart because who doesn't love reading a complete trilogy? That way you don't have to worry about cliffhangers. You don't have to worry about, you know, is this series ever going to be completed? Looking at a couple of you guys. But yeah, so The Grey Bastards is just a fantastic series that I've heard nothing but great things about. And so I cannot wait to get this into the brain box, and hopefully that will happen next year. This one's Alan's fault. Alan started talking about Flintlock Fantasy, and I personally happen to like the Powder Mage trilogy. The first trilogy is pretty decent. It's got a couple, it's not perfect, but I really loved the second trilogy. Like, I gushed about the second trilogy. And so then I was looking for more Flintlock Fantasy because I was like, man, like, where am I going to find that? Alan was just like, Shadow Campaigns. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Shadow Campaigns, that sounds cool. I mean, look at that cover. It looks cool. Supposedly this is like Napoleonic with like demons and stuff like that, demons and magic. And yeah, I mean, look at the shield and the gun and the robes, and it just, the cover art alone looks fantastic. I've had this for about 5 or 6 months now, I think. And like, I actually went through some struggles collecting these editions because these editions are hard to find. Specifically, the 4th and 5th book are just not in print for some reason, but the first 3 are. I don't understand. But I was able to find some really decent used copies after about 2 or 3 attempts. But this is one, I need more Flintlock Fantasy in my life because it's a subgenre, since we're talking about Alan, that I really, really, really enjoy. So that is going to be the Shadow Campaigns, starting with 1,000 Names. I really, really want to get into this next year. All right, we're approaching the end of all 10 of these series that have just been kind of punching me in the face. This one I can chalk up to Elliot Brooks because this is her fault, she got this all hyped up. And the more I hear about the Ninth Reign, or I think it's called the Winnowing Flame trilogy, the more excited I get. This is like, I think it's not quite self-pub. I think it's like boutique published, which is like some sort of in the middle, where it's like, you know, you sell the rights to them and then they print it out for you or something. I don't quite know how that works, but it's like it's in between self-pub and traditional published. But Elliot Brooks loved this, and it's got a blurb from Adrian Tchaikovsky on the cover, which, frankly, I've been loving everything I've read by Adrian Tchaikovsky lately, so that is a huge win for me when you've got a blurb by him. Plus, look at that. That just makes me happy. Nice floppy. Decent scent. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Going for a second whiff. Yeah, I like that stuff. But I've heard this is kind of like steampunk-ish-y, some sort of thing. It's like traditional fantasy. I don't know a whole lot about it, but everybody who reads it like rants and raves about it and loves it. So I picked up the whole trilogy when it became available on Book Depository because I didn't want to miss it, like risk it selling out on me again. And so now it's just been sitting on my shelf for 3 months, and it's gonna have to be pushed to 2022. All right, we are approaching the end here. And frankly, we have got, I read the first series, so I've already read Raya Revelations. And since I've said that, I'm talking about Michael J. Sullivan. So I enjoyed that enough that just based off of how I felt on Revelations, I decided to pick up Legends of the First Empire in its entirety in hardcover, which is a bit of a task. Because halfway through this, he reverted back to self-pub. So it stopped being published by Del Rey and started being published by Grim Oak. And then for a while, like, I think one of the books went out of print while Grim Oak was working on republishing it. So I kind of panicked, and I was just like, oh no, I started collecting in hardcover. Am I not going to be able to get it? And then finally Grim Oak's copy came out. So I've got all 6 of these in hardcover. I'm super excited. Basically, I bought this based off just how much I enjoyed Raya Revelations. I had some gripes. I've been told that those are silly gripes, and I don't actually disagree with that. So I am super excited about this. It's set, like, I think around 1,000 years prior to Raya Revelations, and so I think this is going to be a much more magical world than that one was, specifically because we're going back into the ancient past and stuff like that. I'm really excited to get to this. I don't know when or if I'm going to be able to read all of this next year, but that is the plan. So we'll see what happens. And, of course, these are all series I'm looking to prioritize next year. I can't promise that that's going to happen because TBR problems happen. Like, somebody will recommend a book to me, and it will just jump the line. So we'll see what happens, but I am really hoping to get to all these books. My last one that I'm hoping to get to is, I bought this, I believe, for Christmas 2020, and that's going to be The Magician, which is the Rift War Saga, the start of the Rift War Saga, or no, maybe this is Rift War and Rift War World, I don't know. There's like 30 books set in this world by Raymond E. Feist, and there's specifically 3 that Petrick read, which was kind of separated into its own little thing. I think it was like called Daughter of the First Empire, or Daughter of the Emperor. Something like that. Petrick gave that rant reviews. I kind of want to start here first. I've heard this is kind of very, very classic. It feels very tried and true. I like a lot of the classic fantasy, so I've really been looking forward to this one, specifically because this one's pretty beefy. But then, like, the other 2 are, like, really, really skinny. And so it kind of slims down after that. So I'm not too intimidated by this. I've just got to find room to slot it in. Plus, I mean, I love that silver, black, and just simplistic cover with the handing of the keys. I kind of love this cover. I cannot wait to get to all of these books. But, I mean, this is 10 series I haven't even started that I think all of these I own in their entirety. And so while I'm about to hold up 10 books, this is closer to like 50 books. Ooh, there we go. There's the money shot. Ah, this is heavy. Ugh. But guys, these are the 10 series that I would love to start in 2022. Let me know in the comments down below which ones I should probably be prioritizing. I would love to have your feedback. Let me know if you have any favorites, if you have any that you didn't like. You know, I am open to all of the opinions. But that said, guys, that is the end of the video. Make sure to check the description down below for the link to the Wizardly Duo Discord. We would love to have you as a part of our community. Until next time, guys, peace out. Stay magical. Bye.